Hello, welcome to the weekly series with the Ramchal, and this week's portion is Mispatim. So let's delve into the weekly portion according to the ideas of the Ramchal. And here we're going to start with what does really mean this saying "eye for an eye." ואם אסון יהיה ונתת נפש תחת נפש, but if any harm follow, then you shall give life for life. עין תחת עין, שן תחת שן, יד תחת יד, רגל תחת רגל. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, food for food. According to the sages, we should by no means take this quote literally, okay, how it says. For example, if someone caused harm to another and made them lose their eyesight, it doesn't mean that they should be blinded in return. The oral tradition explains the written Torah teaching, providing a detailed understanding. The Torah mentions 4 areas when discussing their laws. So what was it written here? Eyes, teeth, hand, and foot. But really, what happened with other body parts when can be harmed? This explanation is related to the Beit HaMikdash, the Holy Temple, and the post-existence of Judaism after that, specifically the destruction of the Second Temple that we are talking about. Through the Beit HaMikdash, the temple, Judaism maintained this connection with the divine, with the Creator. So after its destruction, the reality changed, and for the Jewish people, the physical reality shifted to another plane. Okay, the eyes no longer saw what they were supposed to see. So this was one of these out of the 4 body parts, the eyes. In this context, the teeth mean that without the Holy Temple, the Beit HaMikdash, couldn't consume those sacrificial parts that would have been offered only in the temple. Imbued with these rabbinical decisions, the prayer are completely replaced the sacrifices. So also, this was about the tooth. And the Kohens, the priests, couldn't fully perform their holy duties. They couldn't bless the people with their hands. Here we find the hands mentioned in the code. And what would the feet symbolize? This represent the 3 occasions when the Jewish people regularly approach the temple during the Shalosh Regalim, these festivals. These occasions and also underwent this transformation, obviously. As we see, many corners of the Judaism underwent a profound change and a new set of values, and custom emerged after the destruction of the temple. Okay, ואם אסון יהיה ונתת נפש תחת נפש. But if any harm will follow, then you shall give life for life. There is an earthly court that is, and there is a heavenly court. Okay, in the earthly court, we can see that those who commit wrongdoings, they feel consequences. This, of course, depends on what they did, evidence, witnesses, and so on. What we can line up for the presentation of this accusation or this issue. About the heavenly court, it is entirely different. There is no earthly influence or pressure or coercion. Everything is directed by the divine. It is worth carefully considering basically our actions and even our thoughts, because everything will have consequences in the heavenly court, no matter what. What is the right behavior? It is not worthwhile for false words to leave our mouths, not to confuse others, not to expose those mistakes of others in front of other people, in front of them. We should not assume a judgmental role toward others, as the divine will scrutinize us more harshly in return. Okay. So this was about the little guidelines, and we're going for other idea here. כי תצא אש ומצאת קוצים ונאכל גדיש או הקמה או השדה שלהם ישלם המעבר את הבערה. If fire break out and catch in thorns so that the stalks of corn of the standing corn or the fields are consumed, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution. The weekly portion is called Mispatim, which means laws or judgments. The Torah tells the punishment of someone who has committed a sin, a person who has been burned. So beyond this simple meaning of the story, we can also look at the allegorical comparing to the Torah of the fire. However, we can be beneficial when we are at a distance from it. The same applies to the secrets of the Torah. Those who came too close to the fire or the secrets of the Torah may burn themselves. When the revelation of the secrets reaches someone who doesn't understand or cannot comprehend it, they can expect a spiritual short circuit. Something will really disturb the process of understanding, deliberately or preventing them from grasping the idea here. So these several examples of burning can be seen by the sack of grain, the crop, and the field. These three correspond to the parts of the Gemara, Mishnah, and the written Torah. The sacks of grain that is representing the Gemara, because we really must separate the inedible part around the grain until we reach the valuable part. The same applies to the Gemara. We analyze it until we reach the final, the central halakhic questions. The second was the crop. The crop is like the Mishnah, made from grains, and without it we cannot interpret the Torah sections. Okay, and the field, the third one, is represented by the written law, the Torah, containing the stack, the crop, and everything that develops from it. In this case, it encompasses both the Mishnah and the Gemara. לא תהיה אחרי רבים לראות ולא תענה הרב לנטות אחרי רבים להטות. So shall not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shall you bear witness in cause to turn aside after multitude to prevent justice. So this pasuk is interpreted as a legal case, or it can be understood more generally. We must always listen to the accused. They have the right to defend themselves, regardless of whether they believe that they say will no longer change the judgment against them. In the heavenly court, if someone speaks falsely, the divine will punish them for the falsely spoken words. When testifying before decision makers, it carries a different weight, obviously. So in general, the story can be perceived as follows. Whoever has a truthful heart must speak the truth and follow it, even if others, the whole world, are contradicting to that. There might be a later perspective shift that proves that one person was right and the whole world was wrong. So after expressing their truth, they have done their part. From then on, they surrender leadership to the divine. And the divine will arrange everything. There is a spiritual rule. So everyone should do their maximum at the divine. We contribute the remaining spiritual part. So we must understand that we cannot completely control that we happen to us, what needs to happen. So the society's opinion towards an individual may be negative, but we should never let the divine's opinion toward us to be negative. So it's a different scale. So we should always act by putting our hand on the hearts and speaking the truth that is coming out of it. For example, Noah was alone in representing the divine in his generation. So everyone thought he was crazy when he started to build the ark for many decades or 100 years. However, it turned out that he was right, and the flood engulfed everything became flooded. So that became the reality. So therefore, we should not follow the majority, as the majority and the power decide. So the judge, who follows the majority, is essential commits a sin. The final judgment will be based on the majority's opinion, obviously, but the judge must express this individual opinion even if it goes against the majority. Only by embodying the true speech, the true thinking, and maintaining the pure heart can one remain the unity with the divine and stay pure. So lastly, before the last, we talk about this pilgrimage festival, the Shalosh Regalim. בכל אשר אמרת לכם, תשמרו בשם אלוקים אחרים, לא תזכרו, לא ישמע על פיך. And in all things that I have said unto take ye heed and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard and out of the mouth. So Judaism is a monotheistic belief. Yet it's very apparent that it speaks about gods, and this is meaning idolatry, when mentioning these Shalosh Regalim, these 3 festivals, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot. So what is the idea here? So one who desecrates these festivals as if it's committed idolatry. So the Zohar gives even further understanding, stating that someone who does not adequately prepare for these festivals, as if creating a gap, the connection with the divine. What makes these Shalosh Regalim, these pilgrimage festivals, so special? So on regular weekday, unfortunately, the impurity, the Tumah, has the advantage in our life, making it very challenging to maintain holiness in our everyday lives, the spiritual level that is necessary. So many distractions can divert our attention from really this genuine spiritual work. The Moadot, or those festivals, provide these opportunities when the divine can reveal many possibilities before us. The power of impurity weakens during this time because of the strong light that we're experiencing during the Moadot. However, let us never forget that impurity, the unhold, gives power to negativity, which also is coming from the divine. This is precisely what we forget when we think that impurity is strong and dominates in our daily lives. This is when we attribute the significant role to the unholy and idolatrous aspect. The 3 festivals, Shalosh Regalim, are called legs, regel, because one had to personally come to the Beit HaMikdash, the Holy Temple. So this foot is basically located in the lower part of the body, as we know, as always serving the head, as it selflessly takes it where the head directs. The whole role of the foot is to subordinate. So these 3 festivals are 3 spiritual legs of the year. If we approach and celebrate these festivals as well with the sufficient energy, the divine will provide more energy and success in other aspects of our life as well. 3 רגלים תחגוג לי בשנה. 3 times you shall fast into me in the year. Among these 3 festivals, only Pesach, Passover, has mentioned related of guarding. So it was the time when the divine lifted the Jewish people and removed them from impurity and unholy situation. This can be fulfilled also by eating the matzah, the bread of the poor, and by distancing ourselves from eating chametz, which inflates our egos. So Pesach is the greatest test concerning our egos. So it is must crucially to preserve the rules of the festival because we must protect ourselves, our egos, from the descending. ראשית בחורי אדמתך תביא בית השם אלוקיך לא תבשל גדי בחלב אמו. The choicest first fruits of the land you shall bring into house of the God. You shall not see the kid in its mother's milk. So the physical word basically is a reflection of the spiritual word. If we mix the rules and system, they also get mixed up in the spiritual role. So breast milk and dairy food belonging to the Sephirah of Chesed. Why meat and meat dishes belonging to the Gvura, Sephirah of Gvura. Mixing these disputes, the system established by the divine. So the Gdi, the kid goat, has the numerical value of Gimel 3, Dalet 4, and Yud 10, which totals like 17, also the same as Tov, good, by Tet 9, Vav 6, and Bet 2. The Torah claims that the mixing of dairy meat and dishes can cause really significant spiritual damages. Okay, this is according to the laws of the Kashrut. And that was for today. And see you next week with a series with the Ramchal. Thank you. Bye-bye.